Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt a sense of wonder? The moon, our silent, cratered companion, has been a source of myth, legend, and scientific curiosity for millennia. It pulls at our tides, lights our darkest nights, and has been the goal of our most ambitious explorations. But what if that familiar, lifeless rock was something else entirely? What if the myths of a cosmic egg weren't just stories, but a horrifying premonition? Imagine a world where the very foundation of our night is not a rock, but a shell. A shell that, after 4.5 billion years of silent incubation, is beginning to show cracks. This isn't science fiction. It's a thought experiment grounded in a terrifyingly plausible, albeit speculative, reality. What if the seismic activity we've been detecting on the moon for decades isn't just moonquakes, but the first stirrings of something waking up inside? What if the moon was about to hatch? It begins subtly. For months, astronomers, both professional and amateur, report strange new readings. The network of seismometers left behind by the Apollo missions, which had been faithfully recording moonquakes since the 1970s, starts picking up tremors of an entirely new magnitude. These aren't the familiar, shallow quakes caused by tidal stresses from Earth or meteorite impacts. These are deep, rhythmic, and powerful, originating from the moon's very core. The data is initially dismissed as instrumental error, perhaps a malfunction in the aging equipment. But then, new, high-resolution orbital scans from probes like the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter reveal something impossible to ignore. Fine, web-like fractures are spreading across the lunar surface, emanating from a central point deep within the far side's South Pole Aitken Basin, the largest and oldest impact crater in our solar system. Panic doesn't set in immediately. The scientific community is cautious, proposing theories of unprecedented tectonic activity or a delayed reaction to a massive, ancient impact. Governments classify the data, attempting to manage the flow of information. But in the age of global connectivity, secrets are hard to keep. Leaked images of the growing cracks, now miles long and visibly widening, hit the internet. The public discourse shifts from scientific curiosity to a creeping global anxiety. The moon, the symbol of constancy and serene beauty, is suddenly an object of dread. People stop looking up at night with wonder and start looking up with fear. The cracks are no longer just geological features. They're the seams of something unimaginably vast preparing to break free. The rhythmic deep moon tremors increase in frequency and intensity, now measurable not just by sensitive instruments, but by their tangible effects. Satellites in lunar orbit have to make constant course corrections as the moon's gravitational field begins to fluctuate in minute, yet unpredictable ways. The night the world changes forever is marked by an event visible to the naked eye. A brilliant, internal light begins to pulse from within the cracks, casting an ethereal, sickly green and violet glow across the lunar landscape. It's a light show for the end of the world. The rhythmic tremors crescendo into a single, planet-shaking convulsion. A collective gasp is heard across the globe as a vast section of the lunar crust, a piece the size of a continent, detaches and shatters. Debris, ranging from dust particles to city-sized chunks of rock, is ejected into space. A new, terrifying asteroid belt is instantly formed between the Earth and what remains of its moon. The initial impacts are devastating. Communication and GPS satellites are the first to go, shredded by the high-velocity shrapnel. Within hours, the sky is no longer dark, but filled with the fiery trails of incoming meteors. Major cities are bombarded, not by nuclear weapons, but by the very ground that humanity once dreamed of walking on again. But the falling rock is only a prelude. From the gaping wound in the moon, something emerges. It is not a creature of flesh and blood as we understand it. It is a being of cosmic scale, its form silhouetted against the starlight, a leviathan of shimmering, crystalline structures and raw, cosmic energy. Its body is a complex, shifting geometry that seems to defy the laws of physics, a being seemingly born from the pressures and materials of a planetary core. As it uncurls from its 4-billion-year-old shell, it blots out the stars. This is no animal. It's a living celestial body, a newborn god or monster whose cradle was our moon. Humanity is no longer just facing an astronomical event, it's facing an entity. The immediate aftermath is chaos. The gravitational shift is catastrophic. With a significant portion of the moon's mass now gone or redistributed, Earth's axial tilt, the very thing that gives us our stable seasons, begins to wobble violently. The 23.5-degree tilt we've relied on for the entirety of our evolution is no longer a given. This triggers extreme and unpredictable weather patterns on a global scale. Areas that were temperate become Arctic overnight, while deserts are hit with continent-spanning hurricanes. The tides, now unmoored from their stable gravitational anchor, become monstrous. Coastal cities that survived the initial meteor bombardment are scoured from the map by tsunamis that reach miles inland, driven by a chaotic and powerful new gravitational pull from the creature and the debris field. The world's coastlines are irrevocably redrawn in a matter of days. As the creature, which scientists name Selene, continues to unfurl, it reveals its true nature. It is not an aggressive being in the way we understand aggression. It doesn't attack Earth. It doesn't seem to notice us at all. We are as insignificant as microbes on a discarded shell. Its actions are driven by instinct, the instincts of a newborn cosmic entity. It begins to feed. Its massive, ethereal tendrils reach out, not towards our planet, but towards the debris field that was once its own eggshell. It draws in the massive chunks of lunar rock, not consuming them in a biological sense, but absorbing them, integrating their mass and energy into its own growing form. It is recycling its cradle to fuel its first moments of life. The light show is spectacular and horrifying. Each time a piece of its former shell is absorbed, a flash of energy, brighter than a solar flare, erupts, bathing the Earth in strange, high-energy radiation. This radiation shreds our planet's already weakened magnetic field, and the aurora borealis is no longer confined to the poles. Shimmering, deadly curtains of light are now visible across the entire globe, a beautiful harbinger of atmospheric decay and rising cancer rates for any survivors on the surface. Humanity's response is fractured and desperate. Governments collapse. The global infrastructure built over centuries is gone. There is no internet, no GPS, no coordinated international response. There is only survival. Small pockets of humanity, hidden away in deep underground bunkers or remote, shielded locations, try to make sense of the new reality. Scientists with limited equipment attempt to study Selene, to predict its behavior. Is it sentient? Is it just a natural, albeit terrifying, part of the cosmic life cycle? They theorize that the moon was never a rock, but a chrysalis, a dormant egg laid by some unimaginable parent entity in the dawn of the solar system, placed in orbit around a world teeming with the perfect blend of elements to incubate it. Earth itself was a cosmic womb, our tides the gentle rocking of the cradle. Years pass. The surface of the Earth is a barely recognizable, hostile environment. The sky is perpetually filled with a swirling belt of moon dust and rock, making daylight a dim, perpetual twilight. At night, the sky is dominated not by a familiar silver orb, but by the slowly shifting, faintly luminous form of Selene. It has finished absorbing its shell and has now entered a new phase. It is drifting, moving slowly but inexorably away from Earth, its trajectory aimed towards the outer solar system. The survivors watch, charting its course. Where is it going? Is it seeking a new source of food? The asteroid belt? The gas giants? Or is it seeking something else? Another of its kind? The departure of Selene offers a glimmer of hope, but also a new, profound terror. It confirms that humanity is not alone in the universe. But our first contact was not with an intelligent, communicative species. It was with a force of nature as unthinking and as devastating as a supernova. The world that is left behind is permanently altered. The ecosystem has collapsed and is now rebuilding itself under entirely new rules. The gravitational and atmospheric changes have spurred rapid, bizarre evolutionary paths. The few remaining humans who dare to venture to the surface must contend with a world that is no longer theirs. The legacy of the moon's hatching is written in the very geology of the planet, in the choked sky, and in the DNA of every living thing that survived. The myths of the old world spoke of gods who came from the heavens. The survivors of the new world know the truth. The heavens are not empty, but full of eggs, and humanity was simply living on the doorstep of a nursery. We're never the masters of our world, merely the fleeting inhabitants of a cosmic incubator, and our silent, watchful moon was nothing more than a ticking clock. And as the last of humanity watches, the faint, distant light of the creature recede into the blackness beyond Jupiter, they are left to grapple with the single, horrifying question that will define their future and haunt their descendants. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting videos. What if it wasn't the only one?